Y'all ready for this? Yeah. This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney one. Not my girl, and say, this is.
No, I've used all the gloves and everything that you could use to protect yourself in this thing because I have 4 children and me and the father have we have the trait for output syndrome, and 2 of my boys got it. And I'm trying not to think about it because we just got this diagnosis. We've been trying to make the ornaments and the Christmas decorations, and we've been doing arts and crafts and decorating everything really nicely, trying to get in the holiday spirit in the holiday season and everything, making a little rocking chairs out of clothespins and everything. I mean, the dad doesn't live with us or anything like that, but he's in the children's life. But when it comes to this kidney thing, I feel like I'm in it alone. I'm in it alone because he's just not understanding. I mean, my son, his urine had blood in it the other day. He's been anemic. He's been a little tired, and this was interfering with his schooling and stuff like that. I don't know what else to do, but wait a minute. I was looking at the Lisa Baxter show the other day. You know what? And she said every organization or every disease or sickness have an organization or what is it, association, a foundation or something that's supposed to help the person that's sick. Oh, I'm just so glad I saw that. That lady, she really giving us the 411 in the kidney world. What am I going to say? Oh, man, she's all right. She's rock. She's okay. She's okay. You know why? Because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Yes, hello. How y'all doing? Happy new month. There you go. Happy new month. Happy holiday season greeting. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Feliz Navidad. The whole kit and caboodle. How about that? Happy New Year. Listen here. Listen here. I got a wonderful, great, fantabulous show for you tonight. I said it, and I meant it, and I'm here to deliver. Listen to this. I got the serious warrior. She's like a triple dipple warrior. Let me tell you when I tell you. Her name is Christine Hernandez, right? They call her Chris Ann. She's a mother. She's an RN. She's a kidney warrior. She's what is it? A lupus warrior and a Sojourner syndrome warrior. That's right. She's a woman of faith. The queen of faith is what I call her because she got big time faith. And I'm telling you, I just would like to welcome this woman to the Lisa Baxter Show. She's going to tell her story. So tune in, listen in, and look, because I got a beautiful queen on my hands tonight. Let's go, Christine. Hey, Christine. Hey, honey.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Oh, I'm alive and kicking. I'm alive and kicking. And so honored to have such a warrior on the show. And so delighted you're going to tell us your story on tonight. So this is what we want to do.
I thank you for having me on your show.
I'm glad to have you. I'm too glad to have you. Okay. We're going to start with, now you're an RN.
Yes.
You're an RN. And what did you do before you was an RN?
Well, before I was an RN, I worked in New York City. What I did was I helped people, the underserved that were underinsured. I helped them get Medicaid and Family Health Plus. So I made sure that I was always worried about people's health. So making sure that they had access to Medicaid and Family Health Plus. I did for many years in New York City.
Wow. Well, that's good. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm hearing some kind of stuff in here, but hopefully everybody is not hearing what we're hearing, but hearing some good stuff. Well, okay, so you did that. So you always had a heart for the people. You always wanted to help in spite of any and everything that you dealing with.
Yes.
So okay, so I'm gonna ride right in to you being an RN. Tell us a little bit about that.
Um, well, I became an RN when my son was a baby because he was in the NICU and he had a few close calls where he almost died. And seeing all these nurses around him, just knowing what they had to do and saving his life. And it was just like, boom, boom, boom. They knew what to do. And I said, how can I pay that forward? Because you know what? I stood by his incubator and I just grabbed his feet because I really couldn't touch him. And I said, God, please let my son get through this. I'm going to pay it forward. I'm going to be even a better nurse than everyone else here. I'm going to have so much compassion and love for each and every patient and their family. I need to do this. So while my son was in the hospital, I went to school and he had surgeries and I was in school. I would like take my books with me to the hospital, to Children's Memorial here in Chicago, studied, and then went to school the next morning and took tests. By the grace of God, I say I finished school because he was having a lot of complications and a lot of problems with his lungs. But I got through. And once I graduated from nursing school, my son got better, but I guess all the stress of having him being so sick and my body just being so tense so long. They say stress kills you, right? So I started feeling weird. My body was feeling weird and I didn't know what was going on. So I asked my doctor. This was like a week before I graduated nursing school. I said, hey, I feel like my muscles feel burned out, like I'm working out constantly. I have this pain all over my body. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling nauseous. So he said that he was going to do some tests to see if I had anything, you know. I never had anything, but he did a test and he told me, well, Christine, I kind of have some bad news for you. You have a lupus antibody. And I was like, I looked up at God and I said, okay, so this is just another test for me. And I'm going to become a nurse. And whichever way you want to lead me, I'll go. But let me be a NICU nurse a little while because you know what? I promised that I needed to pay it forward and help parents that were in need like me and have more compassion because I've been through it, right? And I was a NICU nurse. I was a NICU nurse until I started getting sick in the NICU. And actually, one day I was going to feed a baby, but my body was telling me no. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock. And I felt like I had to pass out. And I passed out. I woke up in the ER. I didn't have, I knew I was sick, so I didn't touch any babies. And that's when my boss was like, "Hey, Chris, I know that you have the knowledge, you have the passion to be a NICU nurse, but your body's telling you no. So you have to listen to your body sometimes." And you have to look into different nursing. You could be any kind of nurse. You have the heart to be any nurse that you want to be because you have it in you. So I started looking into like hospice case management. Uh, um, so I actually, believe it or not, Lisa, I went from one side of the spectrum to another. I became a hospice nurse, and I help families through the worst times in their lives, and walking them through that path and being compassionate and holding their hands, hugging them, crying with them, letting them know how, the process was, and educating them. And I did that for a pretty long time, and but I had to stop that because the lupus made me so weak that I remember I had a patient that sneezed and I got pneumonia. And
Shondo. What?
yeah,
Wow.
and I just got pneumonia from a simple sneeze. And then my boss was like, Chris, I think you need a little bit of more of like managerial office work because I know you want to be
Mm.
out there with the patients, but you're too weak right now. So that's
Yes,
what I
yes.
did. That's what I did till last year. I did. I went uh, in the background. I worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I was a patient advocate. It's called a primary nurse administrator. And what I did was I worked with the sickest people, people that had transplants, people that had heart
Mm.
failure, people that had diabetes uncontrolled. I educated them, I empowered them, I made sure their doctors treated them right. I walked them through their process to make sure that they were living optimal lives. And if they needed me to call doctors, or if they felt like they weren't being treated right, I called doctors for them. I was like the doctor's worst nightmare because I fought for every single patient, because I feel like every patient should be treated the best. And that's what I did. And last year, November, actually, this is my anniversary of starting dialysis. I had to stop working, and it's been a process. I cry a lot, because I miss working. But I know that I have a lot of faith, and I know that God is going to give me that chance to get a kidney, get a transplant, and get back out there. But this time is a different um, field for me. I know He wants me to work with kidney patients.
Now, hold it right there. Let's. Oh man, not a Jesus. Let me tell you, you went from nursing with small kids, babies, Neil. Then you went to working with hospice. Now, all of this is great care now. So, doing that, you did good. And the boss, in both instances, and both parts, the boss is the one recognized how great a worker you were. They didn't want to lose you, but they still told you the truth, and they showed that they care. They even had compassion. So you show compassion on the patients, and they show compassion on you, not firing you or giving any trouble to that, but to put you still in the same field, or to talk you into, or talk to you about another field that you could still use your experience and your ability to do what you're doing, I guess, until you heal or got better. And then you had the nerve to talk to God about it, who saw the whole thing and know the kind of passion heart you got. Wow, that's beautiful, and that's heavy. If I had an award for you, I'd give it to you right now. That's all to it.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
just all to
I
it. That's all
I
to
have
it. Now,
I have a lot of anniversaries this month. I have my kidney anniversary.
anniversary,
When I started transplant, I mean, not transplant, I started transplant process and
dialysis.
dialysis. And
Hmm.
then I gave myself to God, everything in November. So,
Wow, look at
and
that.
and God put this calm in my life that keeps me going. Like, I feel like almost He has my back. He's protecting me. Um,
Oh yeah.
I have a calm over my body that I didn't have in the beginning, and I'm grateful, and I'm grateful that I met such wonderful people.
Hmm. That's beautiful. You so now that you're doing this, you want to be a dialysis nurse. I'm hearing you say now, or dealing with kidney patients. So you dealt with insurance as well. So you would know the whole thing. Nothing like being on one side of the spectrum and now you're on the other side of the spectrum. So you know even better how to help another person or anybody that's in your shoes or coming that way, you know. So wow. So whether it's a patient or a mom or a family, you just got it all, girl. You just got it all. So let's slide into dialysis. How has dialysis been for you?
Dialysis has been okay, right? I do home hemodialysis, and um it's been going okay till like last week. I've had steady blood pressures. Everything's been perfect for me. But the other day, my doctor says, "Hey, Christine, try pulling off a little more fluid and see if that's what's going on." Because my blood pressure was a little higher, but they didn't want to put me on blood pressure medicine. So I pulled off a little more. I crashed. My blood pressure went 80 over 50. I thought I was going to die. My son was like a nervous wreck, almost crying. I told him, "Look, don't panic. Just give me fluid and bring my blood pressure up. That's all I could ask you, because if I pass out, I need fluid." And I felt like I was fading away. And by the grace of God, I was able to tell him, "Give me 300 milliliters of fluid." He gave it to me, and my blood pressure came back up to like 110 over like 70, 68. If not, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you, honestly speaking. But there's a God up there, and He wants me here for a reason.
How education played a part. And look how not only education played a part, but God and even your own knowledge played a part in what, I know when my pressure was that, I usually had low blood pressure anyway, but when I was like that, I always would pass out and need saline. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad you were educated enough to know, especially since you're doing it at home and nobody's there. I mean, well, you have kids, but nobody, no, you're not in a unit, but you were there and you were able to tell somebody what to do. So that's beautiful. That's great.
I actually recommend. I don't know if people, the people that do home hemo have partners. There are accelerated life support programs where you can learn on how to resuscitate or what signs to look for in case I do pass out. He'll know exactly what to do, even though I teach him, but it's different. um Not
Yeah.
only for myself but for other people. I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, you know what, the ACLS, that certification is good for people like that are helping dialysis patients, because we crash, and when we crash, seconds count, and that's really important. And I'm actually going to enroll us both in the ACLS program,
I had to give
so
my
that
husband
way.
CPR. That was scary.
Yeah, because it's so important
Did
to
you?
know how much fluid to give, not to give too much fluid, and the signs to look for. Lay down, CPR, everything that you have to be prepared for, because we never went through anything like this, but it happened. And now we know it could happen, you know?
Yes. Oh yes.
But
Oh yes.
but there's I say there's a
So
God up
you
there.
do. Amen. Right up there. He sits high and look low, and he's in all of our situations.
That's
I
right.
appreciate him every day. I really do. He made the difference in my life, and I'm sure so many other people. Now, you okay? So you're dealing with dialysis. Give us your transplant journey. I know. Tell us about that. What your
Uh
process of it?
okay. So I started my transplant journey, believe it or not, in October of 2018. And I went to Northwestern Memorial here in Chicago, and they did a battery of tests. They did everything that they do for colonoscopy, endoscopy, stress tests, everything that's required. The last test I had to do was a mammogram, and I was like, oh, this is going to be easy peasy, because every mammogram every year I have, like, it's good. So I go and I do my mammogram, and they call me in, and I'm like, oh my God, this just, I'm not calling it, but I'm being optimistic. And then they said, oh, we need you to do another mammogram and another sonogram. So they did another one. Then they said, okay, so we're seeing some suspicious areas on your left breast and your right breast. We want to do this mammogram called a stereotactic mammogram, just to be safe. So they did a stereotactic mammogram, and then they gave me the results, and they said that I had stage 0 ductal carcinoma in situ on my left breast. And I had like precancerous on my right side. So my oncologist got together with the transplant center, and they needed to eliminate the cancer for me to qualify for the transplant.
Yeah.
So March 25th, 2019, I went for a double mastectomy. And that was my last like big life-changing event. And I did that, and then they checked, like a few months later, the pathology came back, and they checked, and they said I didn't have cancer anywhere else. So they cleared me to be on the list. So July 2019, I got on that first list at Northwestern.
Uh-huh.
And then I said, let me not stop there, because I have what they call a high PRA. So panel reactive antibody. It's like this extra antibody that some people get when you have either children or blood transfusions. And I happened to have a blood transfusions during the surgery of the double mastectomy. I lost blood, so I needed blood transfusion. So I'm at like 100%. I'm the highest that you could get with that antibody level. So they said it's going to be a little harder to find me a donor, but they will find me a donor. But they want me to put myself out there. So they said, go to Wisconsin, go to Florida, go everywhere you can, and you fight for your kidney.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm doing.
Wow. Well, you also getting exposure here tonight, and you've been on some of the other shows as well, and that all of that helps you. Your Facebook page is helping. You know what I mean? Prayers, and people are pulling for you, so you're not alone in this. You're not alone in this, woman of God, woman of faith. Now, okay, so now that you made it to the list, you're a mom. Has this affected your family? I'm sure it has, but has this affected your family, because you're a mom with children, and a lot of time when you're sick, we forget about ourselves because we have to do so much for our family.
My kids, they're very supportive of me. They have their days like every other kid. My son Julian never complains at all, and that makes me feel like a terrible mom. When I talk about him, I cry, because he's like a gift from God, and he doesn't complain. He does a dialysis. He just does everything. They take turns in my dialysis. When I'm doing it, they sit next to me, and they worry about me, but I tell them that's going to be okay. Now my little guy, he has autism, and he really doesn't understand about the severity of kidney disease. He thinks you could just go to the hospital and get a kidney.
Yeah.
So every time I have an appointment, he's saying, you're going to get your kidney, Mom? And I'm saying, I told him, soon, buddy, soon. You just have to pray to God, and it's going to happen, and Mommy's going to be okay, and we're going to play again and have fun and go out. And because he misses that, I try to go out, but a lot of times I don't have energy.
Yes. Wow. Well, That's beautiful. Excuse me. That's beautiful that your children are involved. And you be surprised, kids. They can be a real hero to us, and your children sound like they're a real hero to you. Excuse me. They sound like they're a real hero to you, and I'm happy to hear your heart so happy about it. Trust me, they love you and they got your back. And trust me, when that kidney comes, they're gonna rejoice like crazy. You know what I mean? And there are programs out there to help a single mother with children. It's not a home attendant, but it's like an aid to help them when certain things you're too tired to do or you can't do. And we can talk about this later on the side. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm always throwing some
Okay.
resources from somewhere, some sort of curveball, but a good curveball. But I'm glad to make you laugh because now we both sitting up here crying. I'm trying to. I forgot my question and everything, Shondo. But I'm not going to keep you long. Your story is so beautiful, deep, heartwarming, heart touching, heartfelt. You know what I mean? Because I see that you dealt with so many things. I don't know what's Sjogren syndrome.
Sjogren's syndrome is like a cousin of lupus. And what it does is
Oh,
it dries up all your mucous membranes. So it goes from the eyes to the nose to the mouth to the lungs, everywhere. It could affect anything. It could affect your brain. And I'm the first person in my family to have Sjogren's, and I don't know how I got it, but I got it. And I went on a strict diet for Sjogren's, and I got it into remission. Praise Jesus, because all I need is another problem with Sjogren's. So it's sleeping right now. And the doctors say that probably when I have my anti-rejection medicines, I shouldn't have another problem either with like exacerbations with lupus or Sjogren's. So that's like kind of a good thing.
wow. That's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. Now, if you had to talk to a mom that's out there, maybe a mom that's also getting help from her children or support and love from her children, or maybe God forbid they're not getting any help and they have the children there and they're scared. Because I've met some families where the children are scared or don't know anything about the kidney disease or this. They're in the dark and the person is suffering and sound alone. What would you say to that mama right here?
I would say if ask, right? Because if you don't
Right?
ask, you won't know if they don't care, right? You have
Yes.
to ask
Yes.
and you have to put yourself out there. There's so much support out there. Find yourself a community, find yourself like a Facebook family. We're there to help people, to walk them through from the beginning to the transplant. I mean, everything. I there's a family on Facebook that is just amazing. And if they feel alone, guess what? Vent it out. Because if you don't vent it out, it's going to stay in. Talk. I'm here. You're here. Um, Jonathan's here. Steve. I mean, Steve is like a wealth of information. I call Steve and I ask him for stuff, like I ask him for his opinion because you know what? Sometimes you need that extra information. And if you know somebody, there's so many people out there with the information, use your resources. Don't be
Thank
afraid
you.
because you're not alone in this journey.
That's right. That is so true. That is so true. I like that. I like that. You give your resources, you use them. I tell them that all the time. Please, please, And you sometimes when you get in hot water, that's when you remember them or know them, but you don't want to wait till then. Start adding them to your phone now. Start adding your website. If there's any numbers or websites or anything that you want to say or add or any awards you want to show, feel free also. Because I usually put some in the chat. I put some resources in the chat. I throw some numbers out there or just names out there and let them find it. But either way, is there anything that we missed talking about or anything you wanted to say or anything before I let you give your shout out and your love out there to whoever you grab it and say it to?
I'm registered at UW Madison in Wisconsin. I'm registered
Mm-hmm.
at Northwestern Memorial in Chicago, and I'm also registered at Tampa General in Florida. And I did that way. If there's people in the South that are interested, they could just go to Tampa General. If there's people north in Minnesota, they could do it in UW, or there's people in Chicago and Indiana, they could do it at Northwestern. I'm just trying to put myself out there. I'm trying to live. I want to help people. I want a chance at life. I know everybody wants a chance at life, and I wish there was so many kidneys that everybody would have that chance. And that's my prayer, that they come in surpluses and people just become altruistic donors and find out that it's okay, that all you need is one kidney to survive if you're healthy. And give people chances, because if I had the chance and I had two healthy kidneys, I would donate in a heartbeat. My children the same way. You know, it's just like we need chances. The kidney community needs more notoriety out there. There's so many of us, so things are gonna change. I hope. You know, I may not have any awards now or anything. I don't do it for the awards, but I want to help as many people as I can. And that's my goal. And if I get Facebook friends that have questions, ask away. Don't be shy, because I'm an open book. So you can ask me anything you want to about myself, and I am not going to hold back. That's just me. If you have a question about nursing, I will guide you the right way. If you have any questions about the transplant process, I could help you with that too. If you want to cry on a shoulder to cry on, we could cry together. Because you know what? I love everyone. I love you. And I appreciate human life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Excellent. Fantabulous. Yes, yes, yes. Now, who would you give a shout out there to? Somebody out there that you want to throw some love at. Throw it on out there, honey.
Oh,
you ain't never lied. Put it on out.
I need to give love to my boy Jeff. Jeff is like the bomb. He wakes up all times of night. He does my posters. I like, he has become like my best friend. He does posters for so many people. I mean, I can't appreciate him. I wouldn't be able to do it without him. He helps me sometimes answer questions. I mean, he is there for me. Jonathan is there for me. Steve is there for me. I mean, so many people that have been there. You have been there. I mean, I'm watching shows. Everybody, you guys have such an amazing network, and I hope it just thrives. And because the goal is there and the mission's there, we just need to expand it, you know? And I want to give a shout out to my kids. I love them.
I knew that was coming. That's what I was waiting for. That's all right. That's all right. I know they're glad to hear it. I know they're glad to hear it. Oh, man, you are a true warrior, a true woman, a true hero. Oh, man, sister, I ain't mad at you. Come on here.
I gotta say,
well, we love you here. We playing. Oh, yo, please. The one with all the special effects. That's the twin brother, they too much, right? The dynamic. Well, I ain't mad at them either. I thank you for coming on the show. And I believe God with you. There's 2 or 3 touch and agree. God will be in the midst. And I believe that he's going to give you that kidney. And we're going to rejoice about it. We're going to be dancing up a storm, getting our things going. Shando. Yes, yes, yes. So you have an excellent, fantabulous night. Not much love to you. Bless your life. Bye. A million blessings. And thank you. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Lisa. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sweetie. Good night. Woo! What I tell you. What a story. What a trooper. What a woman. What a woman. What a woman. A woman of faith. A queen. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for making it go viral. Thank you for being a blessing. Happy holidays to you. Have a great, fantabulous night. Don't work too hard this week. See you next week. Peace and love. Woo! God bless. Mwah.
Lupus. Yeah.
My girl, and say, this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. My girl, and say, this is